Let's bring in Politico chief Washington correspondent Edward Isaac Dovere. So, Isaac, let's start with these tax documents. What questions do you and other reporters want answered by the White House following that leak?
Well, I think one of the main ones here is the argument that's come out of President Trump and his aides has been that he's under audit, and that's why he couldn't put out his tax returns. Yet they confirmed a lot of the information that was in those leaked documents. So why are they willing to confirm some of it versus saying that they can't put it out because of the audit question? If there's an audit, they shouldn't have confirmed any of it. In addition to it, there are the questions as were tax returns from 2005. They, of course, paint an incomplete picture of just being 2 pages, but they don't really tell us all that much about what his finances might have been last year at the moment. And so it's about seeing, theoretically, what else would be in them, what they might tell us about potential business interests, conflicts of interest, entanglements that could be out there that the president might have. And as we head toward April 15th, when, of course, all of us will be filing our taxes, the White House is still not answering whether President Trump will be releasing his 2016 taxes. The 2016 taxes, of course, could not yet be under audit because that's not the way this works. And so we don't know whether this will be part of adding pressure to the White House to do that.
So clearly, the release of this 2-page document is not going to put the issue to rest for you. But what about other people? Do you think maybe that for other critics it may be, okay, that's it, we've touched on it, that's enough? Or do you think there will be additional pressure now for the president to release his tax information?
Well, this issue is not going away on the one hand. On the other hand, you see with what happened last night with Rachel Maddow trying to pump as much attention into the big reveal, and that it was just 2 pages of a 2005 tax return, is a problem for people thinking that there might be more out there. The other thing is, to the president's political advantage here, we see that he paid $38 million in taxes, which I'm happy to reveal from my own taxes is more than I paid in taxes last year or any year. And that's not a small amount of money, and we know that now Donald Trump paid $38 million in taxes. That's a lot. It's also a higher effective tax rate than we saw out of Barack Obama or Mitt Romney when the tax issues came up. So that doesn't seem like such a bad thing for the White House to have out there. But it doesn't do anything to answer all of the real questions that are there about the tax returns, which are not about how much money he paid, but about the fuller portrait of his finances and his potential entanglements that could be there or could not be there. We just don't know.
All right, Isaac, let's turn to health care now. Some Republicans are concerned that the GOP bill will lead to too many uninsured and higher costs for older people. Others think that tax credits amount to a new entitlement. So what options do Republicans have in terms of a compromise here?
Well, they are running short on options at the moment. We have a situation where the House Republicans are having trouble getting a bill that will satisfy the Freedom Caucus, the sort of Tea Party, far-right members of the Republican conference, and satisfy some of the more moderate members, a couple of whom said yesterday that they could not support the current House bill. That is then aggravated on top of it by the fact that whatever they do is going to be something that will have to pass the Senate. The Senate has just a 3-vote margin here. There are only 52 Republicans in the Senate, and there are a lot of senators who have expressed misgivings about what direction the House bill is headed in. We could end up with a situation where the House doesn't pass an Obamacare repeal bill. We could end up with a situation where the House passes one and the Senate never moves on it. Or it's possible still that this will come together in a way that will get something to President Trump's desk. But we're clearly a lot farther away from that than the president and the Republicans in Congress wanted to be at this point.
Yeah, and the president is actually taking his sales pitch on the road today. He's going to hold a campaign-style rally in Nashville. If you go to his re-election website, you can get all the information there. It is very much like a campaign rally. So then I have to ask you, what does the president really have to gain? He's really going to be pitching this to people who already support him.
That's right, and he's trying to get the political pressure mounted for Republicans who are wavering here. The problem is that the Republicans don't quite know which bill they're supposed to be supporting. There was a question about the Congressional Budget Office's scoring of the bill that came out on Monday that was very damaging politically to the Republican chances, showing that you'd have 24 million more people uninsured by, I think it's 2024. With those numbers there, that becomes harder for Republicans to get people on board, but the argument from some Republicans is that number is based on things that are not about the bill as it'll come to be. Well, we don't know what that bill that will come to be is, and then that will need to be scored by the Congressional Budget Office. So it's not about rallying the base here so much as it is about getting a bill that Republicans can look at and say, that's the bill. Can we get the support for it to pass it in the House and get it passed through the Senate?
Politico's Edward Isaac Dovere, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.